I might wait till one person get on. This one gonna be quick. It's not gonna be as long. So we ain't gotta worry about that part. So it won't be as long. But when I see one person, I gon' say what I gotta say, and that'll be it. But it's past versus present self. And like I said, I always leave the videos up so people can watch it. And I usually download it so I can post it elsewhere. So, it's not going down no time soon. Let's see. Okay. Past versus present self. I seen, he been showing me dreams, showing me images, visions, things like that. A lot of us are struggling with who we used to be, the things we used to deal with, things we was, a lot of stuff we even overcame, or maybe we've done to people in the past. Maybe we're struggling with the conviction of how we hurt people, how we may have mistreated people back then. But he gave me some instruction this morning. It blew my mind on how to defeat that. How to defeat the enemy when it comes to him representing the past to you. Because he gonna bring other people to you that might remind you of your past. He's gonna put images and thoughts in your head, trying to compare you to who you used to be, or trying to put you back in that same place. But this is what we do. He always has his little tricks and things like that, to how he's gonna reintroduce those, because he wants you to be frozen. He wants you to be frozen in time. He wants you to not progress, to be distracted, to be thrown off from where God is trying to take you to where he wants you to be at. He don't want growth. He wants death. He don't want anything to elevate you so you can overcome, so you can be a stronger, better version of who you are. He don't want that. So he's going to keep trying to keep you in the past, trying to reintroduce things from your past. He's going to keep doing those things because he don't care nothing about your growth. He wants to destroy you. And anything God represents is going to be for growth. It's going to be for elevation. God always wants to take us to new levels, because he always wants us to improve, to be better, to do new things in life. So what the enemy tries to do, he always tries to go against what God's trying to do. He always try to contradict. He always try to, everything that God come up with, he come up with the evil twisted version of it. So just like we got God is love, the devil came up with lust and all of that stuff. His word is the truth. Satan is the father of lies. He's always trying to contradict. He's always trying to go against. So it's the kingdom of darkness, So, and God had the kingdom first. It was God's kingdom before it was anybody's. And now he got the kingdom of darkness. But anyway, I know it's early, so I probably won't get too many people. Might not even get one person, because it's during the day, it's early. But what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna still leave it up, and anybody can watch it later on today, things like that. But if you're struggling with who you are in the past, this is what you do. Now, this is what he gave me today. When I woke up, he gave me this. I always like writing stuff down, and it's another exercise where you write things down. I know, but you need a physical representation this time, so you can compare it to something. If you want to defeat your past, this is how you do it. You need 2 sheets of paper now. One for past, one for present. One you write past at the top. The other one you write present. And on your past one, you write I am on both of them too. You write past at the top, then you write I am. You write present, then you write I am. And on the past one, you think of that the situation that's hunting you, what you did, the things you was doing, whatever happened in that situation, whatever the enemy is trying to keep shoving into your brain, that situation. Maybe you misused somebody, maybe you mistreated somebody, maybe you wronged somebody, maybe these are dealing with like afflictions you may have caused on somebody else, and that they're still hunting you, that you're still dealing with, that you're still having to overcome. You're still trying to struggle to forgive yourself, or you having a problem forgiving yourself with certain things or with certain situations. What you do, if you write everything down, right? You say, okay, how you was feeling at this time, what you were struggling with at this time, what made you do what you did, the emotions you was facing at that time. Let's say you could put I am, you could put I'm struggling with depression, everything you was dealing with. You write down all your emotions you felt, but write it in present tense. I'm struggling with depression. I feel like I want to lose all hope. I feel like I'm weak in my faith. Because now you're able to better analyze what you went through. Because now that you're further along in life, you can look back on and reflect, and you can analyze in more better detail of what you was dealing with, what you was struggling with, because you overcame it. But your mind is trying to trick you into believing that you hadn't overcome it. But you can go back and reevaluate. I'm struggling with depression. I feel defeated. I want to end it all. I want to lose. You can write all that in present tense, as if it hadn't, as if it's still going on, like you living in the moment at that point. Write it down. I want to get rid of my marriage. Everything that you're dealing with, whatever's going on in the future, and then once you write that down, you go to the present. You say I am, and you bring your mind back to where you are now, what you feeling now. You might say it is going to be 3 outcomes. It's going to be worse, it's going to be the same, or it's going to be better. Now, if it's worse, that means the issues that you was dealing with back then, you hadn't dealt with them. So they sat up there and got worse. Anything that you don't deal with, anything that you don't try to face, anything, it means you've been running from your problem. You've been running from your issues. You was running from the things that had you bound, that had you defeated, that had you whatever. And they've gotten worse. The issues that you had, like you had depression, like you have you struggle with faithfulness, you struggle with your belief, you struggle with things that may affect your character. When you run from it, when you try to cover it up, when you try to hide it, it gets worse. Because all it does, any seed that's planted, all it's going to do is grow. Whereas a tree of good, tree of evil tree, it's just going to grow. So it's going to make your problem just going to get worse. It's like you got weeds in your backyard. If you don't take care of them, you don't tend to them, they just get worse. Now you have to come through there with a chainsaw and all this stuff to tear them down. If you don't deal with your problems, all they're going to do is get worse. So if your I am now is worse than it was in the past, that means those same problems that you dealt with back then have only gotten worse. And 9 times out of 10, new problems have attached themselves to the old problems. So now you have new and old to work on and deal with. Now you see where you at. You have to deal with those issues, which is a topic for another day. Now you have to deal with those issues. Because I got a point I'm trying to make. I don't want to go way off. That means there's some issues you have to deal with. You hadn't dealt with. Your past has only gotten worse because you hadn't dealt with those problems. You're struggling with, let's say you're struggling with lust or something like that. You hadn't dealt with that, so it's only gotten worse. It's only going to get worse until you deal with the actual problem, until you deal with what's bothering you. Like if you suppressing some stuff, suppressing some anger, suppressing some hurt, suppressing some anything that you might be struggling with. You may have suppressed it, swept it under the rug. You might be you might deal with some trauma. It could be trauma. You could have been touched inappropriately. You could have dealt with something as a child, and it's only gotten worse. So now you have to deal with it because now you're regressing. So that's the way that works. If it's the worst, if it's the same, that means now there's some growth needed. There's still some work needing to be done. You're not getting worse, but it's still some work needing to be done. We still have to work on some things. That's where you go into studying your areas of weakness. With the list I talked about, with writing your stories down, or writing your characters, writing the scriptures or wisdom. That's where you need to study your areas of weakness. You need to meditate on those areas. You need to go to God and get wisdom from those, get knowledge and understanding on how to better handle certain situations, certain things. That means it still needs some issues that you've just been maintaining. You hadn't been working to improve, hadn't been working to get rid of weaknesses. You've only been maintaining. That means you've been on autopilot. You've just been coasting. You just only been coasting. You hadn't been working on anything. You hadn't made any progress. Just coasting. You're going backwards. That means you hadn't dealt with. You running from your problems. You running from your issues. If it's still the same, that means you just been maintaining your issue. You just been maintaining your problem. It hadn't gotten any better. It hadn't gotten any worse. But you just at a standstill. You in limbo. That's not good either. That means it's still. You have to study your problem. You have to study your weakness. Study your weak areas. If the new you, if who you are, if your I am today is better than the I am back then, than who you was back then, you put those lists side by side, and one is way better than the other, vastly better than the other, then what are we doing? Why are you still upset about who you used to be? Why are you still upset about where you came from? I mean, what you did back then? Why are you letting that bother you? Why are you letting that still fester in your heart? If you forgiving yourself, God forgiving you, and that list, the past you and the present you is two completely different people, it's time to forgive and move on. Now, the devil's defeated on that. It's time to live. It's time to forgive and move on. If you're not the same person that you was, why even marinate in that? Why let that consume you? You shouldn't. That shouldn't consume your life. That means now you can see that y'all are two different people. You can see it now. Okay, I'm not going through that no more. I'm not going through that depression no more. I'm not in that state of darkness no more. I'm not in those tribulations no more. I'm not facing those same trials no more. I'm not dealing with that hatred. I'm not dealing with that same anger, deceit, or that same murderous spirit, or that same lying spirit. I'm not dealing with those things anymore. So why am I holding on to the things I did back then when I'm not even struggling with the same things? I'm not even doing the same stuff. I'm not even moving the same way. I'm moving and acting and looking different. So you feel me? So if you're moving, looking, and acting different, now it's time to move on. You see that you're a different person. Don't let nobody hold you accountable for who you used to be. Now, if there's an alt there, you hadn't went to them for forgiveness or something like that, then that it can be settled that way. But if it's already been forgiveness. That matter's already been settled. You're already a different person. You're already walking different, looking different, acting different. Don't let anybody hold you hostage. Hold your past self. Don't let nobody hold you accountable for your past stuff. If you already moved on from it, you already grown and evolved from it. Because people will use who you used to be to hold you hostage. They'll use the thing that you used to do, the person you used to be, how you used to move, how you used to act. Don't let them do it. When somebody's grown and changed and evolved for the better, the same thing for anybody. If you see somebody grown and changed and evolved for the better, you let them, you forgive and move on. You let them, because everybody has stages of growth. That's why we doing this exercise, because we having our own stages of growth, you know. So what it's doing is showing you where you at. If the past I am is worse, the present I am is way better, way different. The present I am is experiencing freedom, breakthrough, growth, maturity, spiritual maturity. Then there's nothing It's nothing holding you back, but it's just it's images of your past. It's just an attack. It's just something, a spiritual attack that needs to be that could be fought through, that could be prayed through, that could be fasted through, but you can get through that. That means you've improved. You've overcame that obstacle. Now it's time to stop living in the past. Now it's time to stop lingering there. Because he's gonna use those, who you used to be, what you used to do, the things you used to. If you was trifling back then and you're not now, so what? It's time to move on. That was a stepping stone. That was a learning experience. That was a chance for you to learn. That was a chance for you to grow. That was a chance for you to get better. You succeeded. You passed. You overcame those obstacles. You're a different person now. So what? Now we move on. Now we go on to greater things. Now it's time to. Now you're looking forward. If the past you was better, hey, this is what you can do. Now you can move forward. The past you was better. Do one for future. And put I am. Write the type of person that you want to be. And write it as if it's present tense. The type of thing that you want to be, what you want. And put it in present tense. I am this. I am that. Everything that you want to be, everything that you desire to do, everything that you desire to overcome, everything that you desire to be healed from, write it down. Put it on the future. Now, you have something to look forward to. Look ahead. Now, don't look behind. You know where you at now. You know where you at is better than what you used to be. Now you have something, okay. Now you say, I am this. Not only are you speaking it into existence, now you have, but you strive to become those things. You strive to get to that level. You strive to get to your future self. Now you're trying to be like your future self. Now the time you're spending on trying to be like your future self, the past self is not even a factor anymore. Because now your mind is focused. The whole key to this is to get your mind to focus on something else. You could do the future self for all of them, really. You could say, if your I am is worse, you could say, look, you could put the future self there. You know where you at, you know what you want to be, and you could work towards that. You always need something to work towards. If you want to improve, you need something. You need a measuring stick. You need something to compare yourself to. You always want to have it's like, that's why people have mentors and teachers and things like that, because they need something to compare themselves to. That's why every time, like when you trying to learn a song, you compare it to the tape. When you try to take voice lessons, they have you sing opera. You have formal training. You have something to compare yourself to, so you can make those improvements. That way you can see the gap. Now you can close the gap. As you close the gap, now you growing. Now you maturing. Now you improving. That's why you write the future self. After you do the past and present, now you got something to strive for. Now you got something to work towards. Now you got something to look forward to. Now you got something to, every day when you hit the ground, what to ask God for to manifest in your life, what kind of heart you want God to create in your life. Whatever you want God to do in your, now you have some direction. You have some purpose. You have, there's meaning there. Now you won't be defeated. You won't be held hostage by your past thoughts, by your past situation, by what's been keeping you bound and keeping you. This is how you do it. This is how you move on. So a lot of people say, you just got to move on. You just got to deal with it. You just got to. Some people don't know how. Some people don't know where to begin. Some people don't know where to start. Some people don't know the first thing. They just know move on, move on. How do I move on? But I'll explain it now. Past, I am. Write all your struggles as if you're still living in them. Present, I am. Write all your struggles. Write everything you're dealing with now. Write everything. Write how you feeling now. What place you're in now. You might say, I'm in a place of peace. I feel like I feel joyful. I feel like I'm this and this and that. Strengths and weaknesses. You know? And like I said, if it's worse, now you know you still need to, you've regressed. These problems need to be addressed. You hadn't dealt with those problems. If it's the same, you've only been maintaining the same issues. You hadn't been working on anything. You've just been maintaining. You've been in autopilot. If it's if it's better, that means you had some growth. You had some improvement. You made some change. Congratulations. And you don't need to dwell on your past. You don't need to do that. And to keep from dwelling on your past, to keep your mind from going backwards, you write a list with future. And you saying what you want to be, but you saying it in present tense. I am this, I am that. Not only are you speaking it, but you creating goals for yourself, so your mind will be focused on something different. Your mind will be focused on something positive, something healthy, something that could push you in the right direction, that could take you where God wants you to be, versus you dwelling on where you used to be, dwelling on what happened in the past, dwelling on what the situations that caused, all the past stuff. This is good exercise. If you hadn't forgiven yourself, this is a perfect exercise for that. If you hadn't forgiven yourself for certain things that you've done, certain things you've been that you did, if you have a long history of doing some jacked up stuff, this is a perfect exercise. Write it down, what you was dealing with, because every action has a root to it. You may have been struggling with something. Behind every act is a mindset. It's a certain mindset. You was dealing with something. You was afflicted with something. You had something going on in your mind. There's no telling what it is. There's no telling how much it was going on, but you had things going on. So what you do, that's why you do that. That way you compare. You're able to compare it. So now you have something. You have a guideline, because guidelines are good. Like this, things like this. I mean, he gave me these kind of exercises, and they work. Cause I do it in my head all the time, but it's good to do it on paper too. That way you can see it. You can line it up next to each other. And with, like I said, with the future one, you just striving. You striving to become better. You striving to. This is teaching you to move forward, teaching you to go even further beyond. So now you're striving to become. When you're running forward, you focus on what's in front of you. You're not even thinking about what's behind you. It's to get your mind to focus on something else. Now you got a goal, because if you keep constantly thinking about going backwards, if you constantly thinking about what's behind you, you're not focused on what's in front of you. You're not focused on what's in front of you. You can't be. If past still hunting you, still overcoming you, still overtaking you, your mind is not focused on moving forward, because you still trapped right there. You still held hostage right there. I'm showing you how to break that. I'm showing you how to defeat that. I'm showing you how to beat that devil. You keep your eyes on the prize of what's ahead, what you want to be, what you want to become. You put I am that, and strive to become that. That's how you do that. That's how you fix that. But that's it though. Live for God. Believe what to say. He's going to take you a mighty long way. Hope y'all learned something. Y'all be blessed. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. That's hope y'all got something from that, because I surely did. I'm gonna do that exercise too. And hey, this is some growth, and because I want my whole ministry to be based off healing and overcoming stuff, because we're not our past. We're not who we are. We only who God say we are. You know what I'm saying? We're not what we think we are. We are what God says about us. Because what He say about us is different from what we think, from what other people think, all that stuff. Can't worry about what the world think and all that. There are some cases where you should, when it comes to protecting your witness, and when it comes to, but that's a whole nother stuff. You know what I'm saying? Kind of protecting your witness and all that. But if you're led by Christ, you're led by God, those things fall in place anyway. Once we align ourselves with what God wants to do in our life, once we align ourselves with that, once we focus on our growth in Him, our development in Him, and being led by Him, all those things line up. All those things work out anyway, because He's not gonna put you in a position to where you represent Him and you look bad. He's not gonna put you in that situation, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's why I say if you follow Him, He's gonna put you in a position to where He looks good, so He can get the glory, so more people can come to Him, so more people can. We get the drift. But hey, y'all be blessed. I love y'all. Take care.